track called Not Dying Man. It's 25 minutes past 8.
A little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt.
A little something for the weekend indeed. It's been a couple of weeks. Hello to you, Sam.
Hello, Wammo. I'm pleased that you still played my Kokako there.
Yeah.
He's good, that Kokaka. Whereabouts did they record him?
Always in tune. Oh no, somewhere on some conservation land.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, well, he or she is a very, very tuneful Kokako, may I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've just been, when I spoke to you last, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I was about to do a show in Whanganui.
Yep.
Had a wonderful time there. My God, this was a festival not put on by art council type people,
yes,
but actually the artists themselves.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was called the Whanganui Artists Open Studio. My involvement was that they had a week where, and they had all these different artists around Whanganui and beyond the town. You know, one was out in Maxwell on the way to Patea, and others. And they opened their studios to the public for a week.
Yeah.
I didn't get time to see any of that, although one of the organisers, really wonderful, her mother's work, a weaver, this old Maori lady, or older Maori lady, I should say, Margot, wonderful work. But just such a good atmosphere, and then my involvement was doing a show at the Savage Club Hall,
which is like a really old Art Deco-y hall.
Beautiful hall. It's made of, I don't know the architecture. There's a lot of that Art Deco around Whanganui. Some of it I find quite frightening, those big dark verandas, those things. But this is a beautiful building. I think it was built in the 1890s, so it's not named after Michael Joseph Savage. Beautiful building. And my support act, I did the two halves.
Yeah.
But my support act was from Benny and the boys, and they're from Ratanapa. And they were just great. And so they played from 7:30 to 8. We had packed the place out. It was absolutely rocking. And then Benny and the boys came back at half time, and then later on in the evening they played on through, and it was a great time. It was I was right there in Whanganui, of course, when Michael Laws, the Mayor Michael,
yes,
was saying that any signs which had gone up the previous day announcing Whanganui with an H would end up, quote, in the council bins, or quote roughly. I better be careful what I say. But he said something about they'd end up in the bins.
Isn't that juvenile? Isn't that a juvenile thing? Isn't that juvenile?
Oh, it's awful. It's insulting. It's a lot of the people I was involved with in this Whanganui Artists Festival were Maori, and very proudly so. And to have this sort of thing said, it's not just childish, it's dangerous, it's humiliating, it's ignorant. In fact, I volunteered to drop the H out of my surname and contribute it to the town.
Yeah.
And they can have my H, and I'll be in future found in the phone book among the Udis and the Uxbridges. Sam Unt.
Unt. You should put a little umlaut above that. Unt.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Like a little diaresis or something, just to confuse them. It was an amazing time. I was only down there for a night, for the Friday night. That was Friday, Thursday, I don't know what day of the week it was. But anyway, it was a wonderful time. And when I left there, flew up back, I was flying to Auckland, then on further north. The plane I was in, and right in the back row, so you get both sides of the plane, because nobody wants to sit in the back row, apart from me and the hostess. There wasn't a hostess on this plane. We basically followed right up the Whanganui River, and the morning sun was shining. It was like a great silver-bellied eel below me, the Whanganui River.
Nice.
Often it almost bends back on itself. It almost doubles right back. There's one point there up in the middle part of the river, I suppose you'd say, It just about does.
It's like a squiggle, isn't it, on the landscape?
Oh, it's extraordinary. Just taking its time, working its way down from the slopes of Tongariro, where it sources, right down, it arches out towards Taumarunui, and then goes right out there west, and then it's joined by the Ohura with those great Nui poles. That's an amazing part. Yeah. Hey, I'll read you a new poem.
I'd love to hear one.
This is called Chord 44. It's a very new one. It's got a few, I'm not sure about all the lines here, but forgive me, listeners to Kiwi FM, if it's a bit rough, but it's new, and sometimes new things are rough.
Fresh.
Yeah, fresh. Oh, thank you, Wammo. Fresh, that's much better. Chord 44. Remember, friend, your drive is recorded in the dust on the bonnet of one hot car. Would your dreams were that easy to record, be a breeze? Fact that it's not now, is it? You tumble on the shores of morning in a bed unmade by wild seas. Is this all you're taking? Is life worth the faking? These are questions you wake with. The washing machine's on fast spin, which kind of helps. Is this a motel or something? Is this what life is? A motel built on dreams that ended up in the suburbs, a lowly one at that. The woman at reception says she's suspicious. She says she's not quite sure of what. She gives you an odd look. Then you're out of there, amigo, you're gone. Your car awaits Hangle Park, full of life's fumes. The dust on your bonnet, you notice, as fine silk. That's it, you've got it. You were dreaming of dust, of course, and of making it there one day.
Wow. I like that.
You like that?
It's like a Tarantino film.
Yeah. Maybe my brain's a bit of a Tarantino. But thank you. Yeah, it's nice to give that a little exercise. And I don't know whether I've got time, but I think I may leave it for next week because I've found some Jenny Bornholt poems that I love, and rather than just do it quickly, I think I may leave that because remember last time we spoke, I just got her new book, The Rocky Shore.
That's right.
Which I've, quite honestly don't like. I find the poems too middle class, smug, comfy. All those things that I don't really particularly want in a poem. I need a bit more edge than that. It's all very well to know that the family are well. I've written poems not nearly as cleverly as Jenny Bornholt, and have done that thing worse. I know how it's a dangerous territory, that very, very domestic, in front of your own fire hearth type poetry. Yeah. But I love her work. And just as a little teaser for, shall we say, next week, I will do just an old favourite of mine of Jenny Bornholt's. So I'm just saying that the current book doesn't grab me, but you never know. I mentioned also Bill Manhar's new book.
Which didn't grab you either, did it?
Neither. Sound like I'm in a big negative mood, which I'm not. He said, slashing his wrists. But in the 2 weeks since I said that, I'm finding poem after poem that I really am finding myself going back to. Good on you, Bill Manhire. You're weaving that magic. I didn't know it. It's
like a good album that sort of grows.
Oh yeah. It's like a spider. You don't notice a spider moving, and then the next thing you look up and there's an amazing web sort of catching the morning sun. And you think, ooh, I didn't know about that. Yeah. So just as a little, but next week I'd like to tell you some other ones of Jenny Bornholt's, which are Estonian songs, which are beautiful. I'll talk about that next week. But here's a little one of Jenny Bornholt's, which I'm a great fan of. Quite a well-known one of hers, I guess. It's called Instructions on How to Get Ahead of Yourself While the Light Still Shines. Instructions on How to Get Ahead of Yourself While the Light Still Shines. Sounds like a poem in itself. If you have a bike, get on it at night and go to the top of the Brooklyn Hill. When you reach the top, start smiling. This is Happy Valley Road. Pedal at first, then let the road take you down into the dark as black as underground, broken by circles of yellow, lowered by the street lights. As you come to each light, you will notice a figure racing up behind. Don't be scared. This is you creeping up on yourself. As you pass under the light, you will sail past yourself into the night. So that's a Jenny Bornholt poem, and I absolutely love it. So if I'm not such a mad big fan of the Rocky Shore, I can say there are many, many other poems that I love. And
well, that was such a good one for the weekend as well.
That's a nice one for the weekend. I love that. I love that too. Don't be scared. This is you creeping up on yourself. As you pass under the light, you will sail past yourself into the night.
Yeah.
Bloody good.
Yeah.
So, Wammo,
love it.
You have a good weekend. Why am I early this morning?
Early this morning, because guests don't turn up on time, so I have to reshuffle things, and I really appreciate you being available just a few minutes earlier
you
for
tell
us.
You tell them what a generous and flexible sort of fellow I am.
I will.
Good one, Wammo.
Talk to you next week, Sam.
See you. Bye.
That was a little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt, only on Kiwi FM.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast. Catch that interview in video on demand at kiwifm.co.nz.